Welcome to Victor K Inspirations, where you think better so that you can live better. One of the saddest realities of our generation is that we celebrate graduation and certificates more than education. For many people, the day they receive a certificate is the day they believe the journey is complete. If education is only about obtaining certificates, then we have misunderstood the purpose of education. And if graduation marks the end of learning, then we have misunderstood the nature of learning. That is why so many people leave school with certificates, yet remain unprepared for the life and profession waiting for them. The problem is that many people have mistaken the certificate for the goal. But the certificate was never the goal. The goal of education is preparation. Preparation for life. Preparation for responsibility. Preparation for service. Preparation for solving problems. Sadly, many people begin their educational journey without ever asking what they are preparing themselves for. Their greatest ambition is simply to gain admission. The course hardly matters. The purpose hardly matters. They pursue admission because society expects it, because others are doing the same, or because they simply do not want to be left behind. But admission is not the destination. It is only the doorway to preparation. Before asking, "How can I gain admission?" we should first ask, "What kind of person is this education preparing me to become?" Imagine a medical student whose greatest ambition is simply to become a doctor on paper. He studies only to pass examinations, memorizes just enough to graduate, and forgets everything afterwards. Would you allow such a person to perform surgery on you? Imagine boarding a plane only to discover that the pilot's greatest achievement was passing examinations without truly learning how to fly. Would you still remain on that flight? Imagine employing an accountant who graduated with excellent grades but cannot prepare a simple financial statement, or a teacher with a degree in education who cannot explain a simple concept to a child, or an engineer who has the certificate but cannot solve the problems he was trained to solve. Very quickly, you would realize that certificates do not solve problems. Prepared people do. Life has a way of exposing the difference between what you know on paper and what you know in practice. A certificate may impress people for a moment. Competence earns their confidence for a lifetime. That is why when your life is in danger, you don't ask to see certificates. You look for competence. When your business is struggling, you don't look for framed qualifications. You look for someone who knows what to do. When your child is sick, you don't admire the doctor's graduation picture. You want the knowledge that can preserve a life. Life rewards preparation far more than certification. School was never designed merely to help you pass examinations. It was designed to prepare you for life. Education is not just about acquiring information. It is about developing understanding. It is about training your mind to think. It is about building competence. It is about shaping your character. It is about increasing your capacity to solve problems and create value. A certificate is only supposed to testify that this process has taken place. It is the evidence, not the substance. That is why two people can graduate with the same degree, from the same department in the same year, and still end up with completely different outcomes in life. One saw school as a place to obtain a certificate. The other saw school as a place to prepare for life. One studied to pass examinations. The other studied to understand. One learned only what was necessary to graduate. The other learned whatever was necessary to become competent. One stopped learning after graduation. The other made learning a lifestyle. The difference was never the certificate. The difference was the approach to education. Don't ask only, "What course can I gain admission to?" Ask, "What kind of person is this education preparing me to become?" Don't study merely to pass examinations. Study until your thinking changes. Study until your understanding deepens. Study until you can confidently do what your certificate says you have been trained to do. And if you have already graduated, don't assume your education is over. Graduation is not the end of education. It is only the end of one phase of education. The day you stop learning is the day you begin to fall behind. The world is changing too fast for anyone to survive on yesterday's knowledge. The people who make the greatest impact are not necessarily those with the most certificates. They are those who never stop learning, improving, adapting, and growing. Don't pursue a certificate your life cannot defend. Pursue an education that your life can demonstrate. At the end of the day, people may admire the certificate hanging on your wall, but they will trust the competence they experience in your life. So don't measure your success by the certificates hanging on your wall. Measure it by the value you can create. Measure it by the problems you can solve. Measure it by the responsibilities you are prepared to carry. Because at the end of the day, life does not reward people for being certified. Life rewards people for being prepared. Don't waste your time pursuing a certificate if your only goal is to hang it on a wall. Education is not for show but for preparation and competence. Remember, when you die, your certificates will be useless. And even your education will be useless if it never served any purpose. Thank you so much for watching. If this message has inspired or challenged you, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Victor K Inspirations and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another message that will help you think better so that you can live better. God bless you.